everybody is just loving the second album, which we would have never known that it would be so successful when we first recorded it.
If things are not always what they seem, here was no exception. Having stormed the gates, rocked till they dropped, and won hearts and minds all over the planet pop, the group now had to take its all-important second step into the more adult world of serious artistry. Even with the right amount of help and good fortune, many singers and performers have been lucky once, only to plummet like a stone into the murky waters of obscurity with dizzying speed. Into 1999, the Destiny's Child hit-making machine rolled on, going from strength to amazing strength. A new single, Get on the Bus, was featured in the movie Why Do Fools Fall in Love, which was a surprise hit in Europe. You could be forgiven for thinking that with all this in place, the group might slow the pace a little. No way. They were up and running, and there was plenty more ground to cover yet. As their most dominant force, it would fall to Beyoncé Knowles to shape their future. The first album had gathered an impressive stock of reviews from such diverse quarters as Right On magazine, the Chicago Sun-Times, and USA Today. With critics recognizing the sheer quality of the vocal harmonies and the maturity shown in the choice of material. They had recorded 2 cover versions, the first being the old-school 80s hit by Imagination, Just an Illusion, which resurfaced simply as Illusion. The Commodore's classic Sail On also benefited from a makeover, Destiny's Child style. And now, rather than bask in the bright light of their success, they would turn the heat up a notch further. Their second album built on the strengths of the first and was a testament to the group's rapidly developing maturity. And in a business where artists now come and go with even more alarming frequency than ever, it may have surprised Destiny's Child's detractors that there was, after all, more to them than good looks and indulgent heavyweight friends. When Bills, 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 the leading single of the group's new album, The Writing's on the Wall, leapt up the pop chart to the #1 spot, it was clear that Destiny's Child were no one-time wonders. Beyoncé, Kelly, LaToya and Latavia struck another blow for female self-esteem with this highly barbed but deliciously infectious jab at men. While many women applauded their pride and defiance, a lot of men took offence. In this age of increasing awareness, men may feel that it's insulting to depict them as feckless, irresponsible and treacherous. But the last laugh was on Destiny's Child. If you were not that kind of man, this song didn't concern you. Lighten up. And anyway, they were not demanding that men support women, financially or otherwise, but simply that they pull their weight in relationships, a feat which seemed to Destiny's Child to be beyond the grasp of most men. And in Bugaboo, they take a shot at guys who expect their girlfriend to just be there whenever they call up. Guys who become controlling and obsessive to the point that the woman becomes an object, just another possession to show off to their friends. Feminists have been saying this stuff for decades, ever since the late 60s, and Destiny's Child were not the first to make so blatant a stand in the tussle between the sexes. But many feminist performers of the previous 20 years had been marginalised by an inherently sexist, male-dominated music business. Then, sometime in the 1980s, hip-hop had stolen a march on the rock-oriented music establishment, and by the turn of the century, it had become the most influential form of popular music on the planet, with the clothes, the attitudes, and the language of urban youth culture transformed all over the developed world in the process. And now, it was not just an art form practiced by men. Women's rights still had a way to go, but so many changes had been made. And Destiny's Child, rather than being seen as women with an attitude problem, were seen as women with attitude, full stop. And they had taken their message of equality to the top of the charts all over the globe. Say My Name is about a girl who realises that her man is cheating on her when he refuses to use her name while on the phone to someone else. Whatever the group's legions of male fans may have felt about the way men were portrayed in their songs, it did not stop them clearing the record store shelves of Destiny's Child albums quicker than they could be stocked. Most of the material on the second album was written by the girls themselves, and Beyoncé even got to produce many of the tracks, saying in an interview that bands gain greater respect from taking a proactive role in the creative process. They cranked up the force of their equality manifesto with spoken commandments at the end of each song, the gospel according to Destiny's Child. The original intention was to echo the spirit of the 10 Commandments given by God to Moses, written on tablets of stone. But the writings on the slabs would have made for a clumsy album title. The injunctions spelled out on Destiny's Child's imaginary wall included, "Thou shalt pay bills," "Thou shalt not leave me wondering," and so on. This was sassy, in-your-face stuff, not to be taken lightly. As with their debut album, invaluable production assistance from top-flight names was brought on board. Missy Misdemeanor Elliott contributed to Confessing, and relative newcomer Kevin Shakespeare Briggs, fresh from his success with TLC, came in to help out on Bills, Bills, Bills. The working relationship developed favourably, and it was his input that would help shape much of the album. Other collaborators included Daryl Simmons on Stay, male R&B outfit Next on If You Leave Her, and the group teamed up once again with Dwight Wiggins for Temptation. Released on July 27, 1999, the new album was an instant hit, debuting at number 6 on the Billboard 200 album chart. 9 months later, it was at number 5, having experienced its best week of sales ever. And more than a year later, it was still in the top 20 and selling upwards of 70,000 units per week. Bills, Bills, Bills was at number 1 on the Billboard single chart for 9 weeks, was number 1 on the R&B radio 4 weeks in a row, and together with Say My Name, it topped the Hot 100 and R&B singles charts. Finally, during the week of October 24, 2000, Destiny's Child had 2 singles on the Billboard Hot 100 airplay chart, Independent Women Part 1 at number 9 and Jumpin' Jumpin' at number 5. With all this in place, it seemed like nothing could go wrong. Or perhaps, because of all this, something was bound to go badly wrong. And, as the uncannily prescient title of the second album implies, there was trouble brewing. It would be their first taste of trouble, and it would hit hard.